Hey everybody, today is May 7th and here is the next update. It's been about 2 weeks now since my last update and the plants are growing like crazy. So let me go around and show you what's going on. Last update, this Hydrohab and the mini Rocoto wasn't doing very well, but it seems like it's coming back and there's quite a bit of growth since the last update. There is my Bahamian Goat, going quite nicely right there. They're starting to fruit already. See there are flowers down there? Probably gonna get a ton of flowers, but we'll see probably in the next update. Here is the white ghost that was eaten up by slugs. Damaged leaf, I'm probably gonna pull those off, but there's new growth right there. That there is my white devil's tail. It's growing very, very nice. The tip of my plants are starting to shrivel. I'm gonna investigate and see what's going on here. But at the bottom they seem to be okay. It could be from sun damage, I don't know, but I'm gonna look further into this. I'm hoping these are not bugs or anything like that. Here is my chocolate Scotch bonnet. It's grown quite a bit as well. There's just so many shoots from this guy here. I brought this guy from inside. And there is my Bahamian Goat. Very nice looking there. This one is the Bonda Ma Jacques. Most of these are starting to flower already. I'm probably going to be expecting fruits very soon. Here is actually that's not the caramel. This one is the red habanero. The one that's doing really bad last update is starting to grow. And there's something else in it right there too. But I'll just leave that there for right now. And there's my Reaper. It's growing very, very nicely. That's probably the largest plant that I have. Another red habanero starting to come back. This one is a 7-pot infinity. All of these guys are really, really bushy. Probably is due to being topped indoor before I brought them out here. Here is the white ghost that was really small in the other updates. Look at the stalk on this guy. It is just humongous. This one's not topped. I left this guy not topped to compare the growth of this guy against all of the other ones that have been topped. See, this guy is just the way it was when I transplanted that into here, and it grew quite a bit. Getting very tall. Here is my Jubilee Watermelon. It's really, really growing. It's probably gonna start to crawl out of this very soon. And here is my Crimson Sweet and the Aji Habanero. So last update I came out here and this pot was completely flooded, so a lot of the leaves started to turn yellow and then some wilted and died. So I cut holes at the bottom of this and allow water to drain out, and that they started to come back. Here is the MOA Scotch Bonnet that I just brought out here recently. He's doing okay. So those are basically all of my outdoor plants. I have a few indoor that's growing very nicely, so I'll show you guys in a bit. Alright, here are my indoor plants, and this one is the orange Scotch bonnet that was really, really big. After the mites, I completely cut it off again. This is probably like the 4th time I cut this guy down to just completely nothing. So what happened this time, the plant has been here for a while now. It's gotten old, so the roots started to turn a really dark color. Basically, those are the dead roots. So I took this plant out and ripped off all of the older roots, and then the new ones are starting to come back, as you can see there. So once those roots are formed again, this one is gonna grow like crazy. The funny thing about this plant is that the shoots are very, very small, but as you can see, they're already developing flowers there. They're everywhere on this tiny tree that really doesn't have much on here. The shoots are very, very small. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the fruits will look like on a plant that has so little shoots or leaves. Then here's this guy. This is the chocolate Muruga. This one was devastated by mice and it completely got eaten off. I kept it around and now it's coming back. It keeps growing leaves like crazy down here. The leaves got really big and it keeps blocking the other leaves from getting to the light. So I keep trimming these. So here's all of the leaves that I've been cutting off. There's a ton of them. They grow very, very fast. This is the MOA Scotch Bonnet that I added recently. In 2 weeks, this guy probably doubled in size. Then recently, I just added this guy yesterday. I'm doing a test to show the difference between soil plant and hydro plant and how fast the hydro plant will grow as opposed to the soil. So these two are the runts. They didn't want to grow at all, so I took them out and used them for experiment. I will release the video later on, so you'll see that in the future. And now here is the plants that I'm really proud of. And basically this plant is half in soil and half I use hydro nutrients. And it's basically like the same as the 2-cup method, where you fill nutrients up into here so that the plants can grab it from the bottom. And that's exactly what I do here. I'll take it out and show you the root mass in a little bit, but now let me show you what the fruits look like. Here in one section there are 5 fruits and then 1 flower, maybe 2 flowers. So yeah, actually 2 flowers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in that little area right there. Normally if you want large fruits, you want to cut all of the other ones out and leaving only one so that it'll be the biggest. But it looks so cool that I just don't have the heart to remove it. But anyway, they're just all over the place. This plant is producing like crazy, and as I mentioned, it's not very big. And that's a really big good size there. And there's a lot of flowers too that are forming. So this is a really neat experiment for those that are wanting to grow peppers indoor and don't have a lot of space. You can use this method and get tons and tons of fruits out of a very, very small plant. If you follow my earlier videos, you see what I did. I grew it in this cup here. I topped it very early so it stays small. I haven't mentioned about my graft in a while because the mice destroyed it, but this graft is still there. It's just not doing much because there's really not much left there to grow except that one little node there. Normally this will not grow at all until you clean off around the entire area of all of these leaves and shoots and stuff, and then that's probably the only way that it'll grow new shoots in areas like this. But since all of these other shoots are everywhere, all the energy are focused elsewhere, so you're never gonna get anything out of there. So I'll just leave that graft there and maybe mess around with it later next year or something. But let me take this plant out of here and I'll show you what the root mass look like. Okay, here we are. So normally when I grow plants like this, I would have a feeding tube, but I couldn't find one that was small enough to place in here. So, and also the bucket is very small, so I can just easily lift it. That's the reason why I didn't put a feeding tube. And here's how I feed my plant. Just see the roots there. And then I have a marker right here at the bottom. See, that's where the water level should be. And usually I'll just lift this up. And here's my hydroponic nutrients, and you just pour it in there like that. I don't feed it from the top anymore. I just feed it from the bottom. After experimenting this for over a year, I noticed that if you feed your plant from the bottom, the roots just travel way down the bucket, and then it creates a really strong base for your plant to grow. So that's all for the updates this week. And one last thing, there's a pepper community that I'm part of, and if you guys are interested in growing peppers or just want to hang out and see nice pictures or progress of other people's plants, please join. There's a ton of people on there that are really good at growing peppers, and they have a ton of nice different varieties that I've never seen before. So please come join us. I'll put the link in the description below, and I hope you guys would join. That's pretty much all for the updates today. I hope you liked the videos. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to let me know. For those that comment and I did not reply, that is probably because I couldn't reply. There's no reply button. So please check your settings. Alright, thanks for watching.